Did you click it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. This is On. Say hello, On.
Hi. Hi, Dina. Hi, everyone.
Is this your first podcast, On?
Well, I mean, is radio show counted podcast?
I mean, podcast is a little more highbrow, I would say, a little more elevated, a little more
Right.
esoteric than radio.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, so this is my first podcast, but I had a radio show in college for about like almost 2 years. So yeah.
Oh, so you're no stranger to broadcasting.
Yeah, no, I actually really love it. You know what's funny? So I went to school in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania, and then there's a prison in my town. So like all my fans are, not all, but like most of them are prisoners, and like every week I would get like mails from my fan talking about my show. That sounds like the cutest thing ever.
Wait, so your fan base of your radio show is mostly people in prison?
Yeah. Like it's like no one at my school really listened to my radio show. I mean, my friends don't really count, but then like I'm talking about people that I don't really know, like not many of them. But I have a lot of mails from prisoners, like almost every week.
How do you know? Because the letters would like come from addressed from prison?
Jail, yeah, from prison.
Was your radio station like one of the only things they had access to?
I'm not quite sure, but I think they listen to radio a lot because I feel like that's like one of the only few entertainments that they have in prison.
What specifically about your show did they enjoy?
Well, a lot of them talked about my accent. They say that like, oh, like that's like the cutest accent they ever heard, which I agree with them for the most part. But then like most of the time, like usually we have topics every week. So like some of them would be like topics that requested by my fans in quote. So most of the time they would just like talk about how appreciated they are or like what they think about my views when like from the last talk show, from the last radio show.
Okay. Wow, so you were like a lot of prisoners' only connection to the outside world. That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, and I mean, but there's like a safety reason, like safety caution that I got from school one day though. Like they told me that like I absolutely like I have to use my fake name. Like at the beginning I was using my real name, but like they were like, no, you cannot use your real name, like you have to use your fake name. And like I will never be able to like see my fan. Like I like you, like my fans are just like from the far.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a lot in common. I think that my podcast demographic is a lot of middle-aged men who have been or will go to jail eventually. And so,
wait, how do you know?
Well, so I mean, I have my Patreon, and it's largely men, and then just I don't know how my demographic got so male. I think it's because the first clip of mine that really got a lot of attention was a roast battle clip that someone put on Reddit. So that's like a largely, I guess, male audience. So I could just tell. I mean, most of the people who message me are guys. There are women, and I'm always excited whenever a woman messages me, but it is largely dudes. So
I mean, you're too pretty, so.
Oh, On. This is my favorite quality about On. You're always telling me I'm pretty.
No, I mean, I'm just honest. I'm a very honest person.
I guess we should talk about who you are and why I'm talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we work together at a company that brought lots of joy to our lives. Yes, we won't get into details about the company, but a lot of my specific memories of you are you going around and telling everybody that I was a comedian and then butchering one of my jokes about Asians to everybody.
Yeah, that like you say that I'm not going to go into heaven because I'm poor. I still remember that.
There you go again. Yeah,
it's a great joke. Honestly, when you join, I just couldn't believe you took the job. Like I just couldn't believe it. And Well, now as I think more about it, I just think it's so wrong that the artists have to struggle, number one. Because like I feel like you shouldn't take that job at all. But at the same time, I was very happy when you joined. I guess it's like for the longest time it was just like Lily and I. Lily is like one of our other colleagues at the firm. And like I guess like for the longest time I actually have somebody to be friends with at work, and like somebody very cool as well. Also like it's funny at the beginning when I was small I always wanted to become like some like a comedian or like some kind of like actor in comedies movie, but then like and as I grow up I realized that I'm actually not that funny. So
that's not true. You're a clown. You were the class clown at the job.
Well, I mean, I think I'm more like of a people person because, well, I just like to be nice to everybody, and also I'm like I like to talk to people, but I don't think I can really stand up and like perform an art like you. It took a lot of courage. Like I remember, so the only time that I really like stood in front of hundreds of people to perform something is when I did a speech competition, and I almost dropped out like on the day of the competition because I didn't know that like there's going to be a camera that like literally directed toward me when I speak. And then I just got freaked out because I was like, okay, like what are you guys doing? So they're like, oh, we're gonna live stream it on YouTube. I was like, great. Like, and like I remember we had to do a rehearsal and everybody did well, and I was just froze. Like I was like, I couldn't do this. I really couldn't do this. And then my professor was like, An, it's $2,000. You gotta get it. So like I guess that motivated me, and then I won. I guess like from that experience, I think like just the courage of talking in front of so many people like that. It's just so brave. Not to mention that like it's like an entertainment job too. Like that you need reaction from people. Have you ever get scared when like people don't laugh at your jokes?
That doesn't really happen. I don't
Doesn't
know
really happen.
how that would even feel. No, I mean, of course, for years there's a lot of that, and you learn how to not just lose your head. Like for a long time, you won't get a reaction, and it'll completely throw you off, and you freeze, sort of. I mean, I've frozen a lot of times early on. One time I literally like choked on my words. I was doing like a competition at a club, and it was like a March Madness thing, so you were competing against like another person, and everyone was bombing because the crowd was just terrible. Nobody wanted to be there. And my friend who I was going up against went up, and he actually finally did kind of well. He was like the first person who went up kind of well, and we always had this sort of competitive like spirit to our friendship, so I really wanted to bury him. So I went up next, and I started out by like insulting him, and that bombed immediately. Like the crowd was like, no, we liked him. And then I tried to like do crowd work, so I remember asking this old woman, I was like, I think I said, what's your biggest regret? And she said, coming to this show. And I was just, the whole crowd erupted with laughter. There was nothing I could do. And I remember I tried to speak, and I would just like I like choked on my own words. It was so embarrassing. So that definitely happens. You have to, but you learn, eventually you bomb so much, and then you face so many injustices from the entertainment industry that you just become a human scab, and then you don't feel anything. And then you can handle crowds who may not like you. And you also,
how do you handle when the crowd not like you? Do you just step out? Do you just like simply just leave?
Like get off stage?
Like would you just like drop the mic and like, I'm out? Thank you everyone, I'm Dina Hersham, I'm out. I
mean, that should be an option. There's so many shows, like corporate shows are like that, like the one that you want me to do for your company. There's a vibe of like first of all, you can't really be free with these corporate shows because it's like people in front of their bosses and you have to kind of be like, tame.
Right.
And so it just ends up not being great a lot of the time. And like, there should be a minute halfway through when you're like, you know what? You're not like, nobody wants to be here. I don't want to be up here. You don't want to be listening to me. Let's just end it, like a bad date. Like, let's just end this early. Like, that should be an option. And yet, for some reason, everybody feels inclined to stay
on
in
stage.
the room. And
right.
it's, well, on stage and also just sitting. It's like this weird magic of like, well, it's a show, so we all have to go through with this. Even though everyone could just decide to leave,
Right. Remember there was like one of the shows that I went to, that place that had pizza. I don't remember that I brought
Arturo's? Arturo's with the music?
No, like I think so. Like when I brought my brother with me, like, and remember that guy, your friend, the one who's a tutor, who's also a comedian. Remember that place?
I don't remember.
Anyways, the crowd sucked too. The crowd was really, really bad. Sometimes I feel like it's not about the joke, it's more about...
Oh, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, I usually, whenever I go to your show, it's pretty good. It was like one of the time that was the crowd was horrible, in my opinion. And there was that guy sitting in the back from Philadelphia. I don't remember who he was, but he was like super rude about it.
Really? Rude how?
Like, I remember he was just like when you guys was like talking, or like when your friend, the male comedian, was like talking, he just kept interrupted the male comedian.
I mean, that could be literally anybody. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, bad crowds happen, especially in Brooklyn. Were we in Brooklyn?
No, it was in Manhattan. It's in Union Square.
I don't know, my memory is shit, but everything you're saying makes sense.
I really hope that you could perform in my company. I'm your manager after all, right? That's my job to get you shows.
Well, that's another thing where you've always thought of yourself as my manager, and I made you an admin on my Facebook fan page, expecting you to really turn things around. And
I'm thinking about it lately. I did it a little bit at the beginning.
No, you didn't. You didn't do anything. You never even.
I did.
What did you do?
I did. I read through comments. I literally gave you advices, and to me, like, that was great. And I look at the metrics a little bit too, but you gotta pay Facebook a lot to really get like insights out of it, which I think kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm trying to say that I've been thinking lately, I really want to just like, maybe we should cut this part out, but I'm thinking maybe I just quit my job and do something fun. Like, do something fun for you, like doing podcasts. Joe Rogan? Like, do you know Joe Rogan? I don't know if like...
Do I know I don't... Joe Rogan personally?
Yeah, do you know him personally? Heard of him? Do you know him personally?
I do not know Joe Rogan personally.
But I really like him.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I just finished watching his latest podcast with Tim Dillon and Alex Jones. Did you watch that one?
I didn't. I watched the one with Elon Musk, and then the one with like an Asian comedian. The one have you watched Silicon Valley?
Jimmy O Yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him too. He's cool too. Mm-hmm. But I really like Joe Rogan. I'm pretty sure that maybe if I quit my job, like, we can just make a show as successful as that. Why not?
You want to become a professional podcaster?
I thought about it a lot. Like, as like I grow in my career, I really try to think like what I want to do, like what actually makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I guess the whole reason why like I jump into coding and analytics is because, like, growing up, like, at least growing up in Vietnam, like, being good at math or like being good at science is always like being seen as like something very, very respected. Like, people look up to you.
Yeah.
And like I got bullied a lot in like during my high school, like literally like my 12 years in Vietnam at school, I always got bullied because I don't look skinny.
Yeah.
I guess like based on like Western standard, I'm not that terrible, but like in Vietnam, like it like I'm literally like 600 pounds. Like if the 600-pound show in like if they air it in Vietnam, they probably invite me to be on the show. But so like I guess like I always wanted to prove myself. Like I always wanted to be seen. So that's why like I chose to be in analytics, to be in tech. But and I'm not saying that I don't like it. It does really get me interested. But when I think of what really makes me happy is like when I do my radio show, when I communicate to people, when I can inspire people. When I did that speech competition, it was really, really hard, but it was really, really worth it. And I guess like right now I'm low key having a quarter life crisis that I'm not quite sure what exactly I want to do, but I do know that I want to help people by talking, by communication, because I might sound a little bit cocky right now, but I do feel like I have that strength of connecting with people very easily.
I absolutely agree. I mean, it's funny because you're so outgoing and social and easy to get along with and extroverted, and you do this super boring job. I do think it's a shame. And I think the reason you're having these thoughts is also probably due to just the situation of, how the country is and the pandemic and everything. Mm-hmm. I think everyone is having these crises, no matter what age they're at, of like, well, what's really meaningful to me and how do I really make life fun? Because it might not be fun for much longer and it's not really fun now. So you might as well try to have some while you can have it. And so what I'm saying is maybe you should just be the new co-host to this podcast.
I would love to be honest. I would totally love to.
Because I really am sick of doing it on my own, and it's so hard for me to talk at length.
Well, I hope you're not joking because I'm very serious about this. Like I think we can even like come up with topics to talk with.
We could even prepare, you mean? Oh my god, prepare?
Yeah, we can even prepare. Maybe I can even like do some, because like I'm in media after all, right? I can even figure out how to get more female audience to our podcast.
Or anyone, really. I'll take anybody. All genders.
You take anybody?
All genders.
Anything. Any living creatures.
Any identifications are welcome.
Of course. But I do want to... Like I always want to focus on women though, because like sometimes I think about it, especially when I'm in a male-dominated field. I'm not saying that I don't love to be a woman. I love to be a woman, but sometimes I wish I was a man. Absolutely. Because it's just way easier. Absolutely. Because it's just way easier. And like when I think of like now as I'm reaching, I don't know, like it's like I'm not really in my early 20s anymore, and I started thinking about families and kids, if I even want to have family and kids. And if I do, then I want to have a daughter, but then because I'm a woman, I understand how hard it is, and I don't really think that sexism will disappear anytime soon along with racism. And like as much as I would love to have a daughter, like part of me wish I would have a boy, just so like his life would be easier, a little bit easier. Like it's like I think it's important of how we raise them. Like say for example, I think like I was raised by my mother, and I was literally taught to be strong. Like I was taught to like I can do everything that a man can do. So like sure, like we cannot really kill sexism or racism, but we can definitely prepare our kids for like whatever challenges that they have in life.
Yeah, that's interesting, because so you were raised to believe that you're, a strong, independent woman, and you have become one. But I was raised the opposite, where as in my, Muslim family, I was always taught like never to compare myself to my brother, and whenever like my brother was allowed to do something but I wasn't, I would be like, well, why can't I do it if he's doing it? And the answer would be like, well, he's a man, don't don't compare yourself to him. And I got that forever. And that made me so angry that it had the opposite effect, where I just wanted to do whatever I want. So we both were taught the opposite things, and yet both ended up as still completely lost, but also independent and strong women.
For sure. That's actually very interesting to me, because like how do you build up that confidence and strength in you? Since like for me, like I am 100% grateful for my mother, because like as I say, like I was bullied not from my classmate, but also from the teachers as well, which is crazy. Like I remember exactly if my high school teacher told my mother that like I'm not gonna have any futures or whatever. Like she better prepare for me, because I'm not gonna have any futures. Like I'm not going anywhere. Like it's pretty much she say that I'm stupid, and like she doesn't even have to say it straight to my face. Like I can tell of like how she treated me. So like whatever success, or like whatever even small success, like whatever I have today is because of my mom. Like she really did a great job of like telling me not to listen to that negativity and really just focus on what I really want, even when she didn't really agree on my dreams or my goals. For example, like she didn't really think that I should go to the United States, but then she supported me, because she really truly want to make me think that if I want to do something, I am going to get it. There are only two things in the world: the things that I want to do and the things that I don't want to do. So I'm very curious that how could you build up that confidence, that strength, given the environment that you used to live in?
Well, I mean, it's honestly a miracle that I was able to develop it, and growing up like that actually ruined me for 25 years. I mean, I had to fight off all of that negativity and lack of confidence and insecurity, and I still have it. I don't think it ever leaves when you grow up like that. It's just a constant fight against it mentally. But it just really, I owe it, almost all of it, to stand up in like a really, really special way. And I've talked about it on the podcast before, but it was the first time that I felt really confident, like just being able to communicate with strangers in a way that I never could before, because I was so insecure and like socially anxious. So just being able to speak and then have people like it and being able to control a conversation was just life-changing. And it took time. Within the first 7 years of comedy, I was still having all these issues. But I guess just going through that process, and not only finding something that I was excelling at career-wise, but also the nature of it in being social and open and confident gave me those things. But it was certainly not easy to deal with before that. So
did you start your career at age 25?
No, but that's like roughly where I started to sort of gain confidence. I started when I was like 21, comedy.
Do you think that comedy helped you to build confidence?
Are you not listening to me?
What?
That's what I just said that for 3 minutes.
Sorry. Sorry. But I guess, I'm kind of zoning out a little bit. I think what my question is, like, why comedy? Like, I know you study philosophy at college, and like you won a comedy competition in your college. I think so. That's what you told me, right? And like, but then like, but exactly what literally grew in you to like, okay, I want to be a comedian. That's what I want to be.
That was never the case. Like I said, it was kind of a miracle. I just randomly tried out for the contest, and then I found out I was good at it and that I enjoyed it. And
But like, is it like, did anybody tell you like you're funny, or like you good at writing, or like, or like some?
I had always been good at writing, not comedy. I was never writing comedy, but writing was what I was always doing. So it just happened to be the first time I tried writing jokes, and then I just found that I was good at it. And then that combined with, the addiction of like, being on stage and having people like you, just was easy for me to give up on all my other aspirations. Yeah. It's a bug. You just catch the bug. And I think you would catch the bug if you tried it.
I really hope so. And hey, who knows? Maybe if we do this often,
Yeah.
Or we go and do it together moving forward, right? Maybe this is my bug.
Yeah, and I think you will also go through a period of becoming more confident. Like, I know you, and I know that you're much more like high energy and extroverted than how you are now, and I'm assuming it's because you're maybe a little nervous or not used to it. But after doing it a few times, it'll just be a party, I think.
Definitely. I think it reminds me a lot. It reminds me a lot when I first did the radio show. I think I really did not know what to talk about.
Yeah.
So I straight up play music for like a good 20 minutes. And I got a letter saying that, can you please talk more and play music less? So I guess with Tom, you can be better at anything.
I mean,
like this.
Yeah, maybe not anything. I think there are things, you're inherently probably better at, or, I mean, you can get better at anything with time, but I don't know if you'll ever reach, greatness at every single thing.
Yeah, of course, yes. Me and running is an example. Like, I don't enjoy running, and like, sure, I could run, but like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be really good at it. And part of me always wonder, is that because I'm just not physically suitable to run, or because I just simply don't enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you would definitely have to want to be good at it if it's already something you don't enjoy that much. But I don't know if anyone's physically bad at running, right? It's running.
We should run together.
I fucking hate running.
Me too. I fucking hate it.
We could jump rope. How about rollerblading?
Do you want to jump ropes? Like, last week I jumped 1,000 ropes.
What? You jumped 1,000 ropes?
Yeah. So wait. Let me back up a little bit. So I'm not gonna say my weight here, because it's like, this is my first podcast as a host. So maybe like in my 15 or 20, I'm gonna be a little bit more open. But I was, during quarantine, I was really, really upset. Like, I was just in a very, very dark place, and it affected a lot of factors in my life. Like, it affected my relationship with my boyfriend or my brother greatly, and I just didn't feel like doing anything. And for the longest time, like, I couldn't realize that I came for food, for comfort. Like, I'm an emotional eater. And I just kept eating, and sometimes I'm not even hungry. It's not even bored. Like, as I'm on diet and like I exercise a little bit more, like I realize that, like, when I'm sad, like when I feel down, like I just go for food. So it's just like, I don't know, like one day I had the courage to step on the scale, and I just couldn't believe in my eyes, and like none of my dresses fit, and it was just like something like click in my head, and it's like, yo, like, you gotta wake up, like, you gotta move. Like, this is ridiculous. So I did intermittent fasting a little bit. And then right now I'm still doing it, but like a little bit more extreme. And then I watch a lot of like YouTube videos like about like weight loss journey, just to feel like there's somebody to like doing this journey with you, just not you alone. And I found like a lot of cool challenges to do, which makes exercise more fun and more effective. And one of them is that, like, you jump 1,000 ropes for 7 days.
What do you mean by jump 1,000 ropes? You mean like when you jump rope,
like
and
jumping ropes,
each jump?
Yeah, each jump.
How many minutes is 1,000?
I don't know, but it took me about half an hour or like 20 minutes to do it. Like, because like I couldn't do it like straight up, like just roll out. Like, say like I would do like 200, and like I would be like, okay, I need like 10 seconds to breathe.
Yeah,
or like some sort like that.
Yeah, I'm wondering because I used to be able to. I got embarrassed because I told like a professional athlete I was trying to impress them with how long I can jump rope, and I was like, I could jump rope for like 10 minutes, and I was like, wait, don't tell me how much is actually long. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you. So I guess that's not very long, but it's so hard to jump for more than 10 minutes. It's so hard.
It is. It's really, really hard, and I was sweating so much, and like, but I think my what I realized is that after 500, is just you and you. It's not even like physical strength or like pain anymore. Like not physical pain anymore. It's just you and you. It's like your mental strength and you. But you just have to push and I just have to do it. I also want to let them know that I used to be very, very athletic too. I used to play rugby.
Yes,
in college.
Absolutely, yes. Rugby, which I don't really.
I used to be a hooker. That's what they call me too. Yeah, like it's so weird to me. When I first started playing, and like we would like went to parties of other sport team. And they were like, "Oh, what position you play?" I was like, "I'm a hooker," like, and everybody just looked at me like, "What?" And even myself, like, like at the beginning, I didn't feel comfortable just saying that. Hi, my name is Anna. I play rugby and I'm a hooker. Like,
well, were you referring to yourself as a hooker on your radio show? Because that would explain a lot of your fan mail, perhaps.
Yeah. You know what? You know my radio name? My. How do you say it in English? The like anonymous name. You know how like when celebrity go to hotels and they use fake names,
pseudonym,
like, yeah, kind of. So my radio name is Godzilla. That's my rugby name.
That's cute.
So you know, that's so racist.
Well, that's Japanese. You're Vietnamese.
I know, but like that's still racist.
Why is it racist?
No, let me explain first a little bit. So the like rugby is such a Greek life. Like when I first joined as a freshman, like we had to do a lot of rules and like, we had to like respect the seniors and so whatnot. And everybody was given a name that kind of like how to say it. That's kind of like not inappropriate name, like something that either racist or like for example, there was a guy in the male rugby team, and he's Asian. He was from Vietnam. They call him Simpson because Simpson is yellow.
Oh my god, that is fucked up.
So they call me Godzilla. But I guess is racism a little bit too sensitive to talk about?
No.
I don't know. No. I feel like because sometimes like I do like say racist joke as well. And like more than often, like when I see comedies, like I do see comedians do a lot of racist jokes. Like, do you think that those racist joke is not political correct, or I don't know, like?
Well, it depends on the joke on. I mean, I think my joke about Asians going to hell is not racist at all. So it all depends on the context. It depends on the joke. I mean, if you're a good comedian, then you know the difference between a funny joke and a racist joke. I mean, a lot of bad comedians make racist jokes thinking that they're funny, and they're not. So it really just depends.
Do you think it's going to be a fun idea to have like a podcast about we talk about different famous comedians?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not. That's the worst
Absolutely
idea.
Not.
That is the worst idea.
That's true. I feel like everything's sensitive, and then like about politics or anything sensitive is not a particularly good topic.
Politics is in.
To talk.
Politics is in. That's what everybody wants to hear about. That's what everyone's talking about.
No.
But I don't want to do that shit.
Me too. I also don't want to talk about politics.
We could figure it out. I mean, we could feel it out. I'll have you back, and then maybe we will do some preparation. Think about things we are on our hearts and minds that we want to talk about. And then maybe you're what I've been missing. You know, in the dead quiet. You know, in my cult. You know, it's a cult.
No, I think it's it might be a good mix because I feel like I'm more bubbly and you more like, how to say it, mysterious. So
Yeah.
I think it would be a good mix. It just, I feel like finding some interesting topic to talk about.
I think if we could
Could be-
debate each other, it'd be fun. If we find something that we disagree on and just fight, that could be fun.
That's true. What do we disagree on? Let's think. Let's just simply think. I mean, like, of course we can think it later, but like I just kind of like on top of my head, like I don't know. Like I feel like I agree with most of the part that you say, or like agree with you in general, because we're friends, right?
Yeah, we're friends. But let's think about it. I actually have to go do a different podcast, so we have to cut this short. But
really, like, how many podcasts you do?
Not a lot, because I hate them. But this one I'm going to do because I'm getting paid money. So,
okay.
But this is exciting, new prospects, and we have a lot to talk about. So,
for sure. Well, when you publish it, please let me know because I do want to hear myself talking.
Absolutely, I know you do, and I will let you know.
Yes, very self-centered.
Okay. Is there anything you want to plug? Should anyone follow you anywhere?
I mean, I have my Instagram.
Yeah, what's your Instagram?
Let's see.
Is it private?
My Instagram is I mean, it is now, but I can make it public. I don't really care. I don't really have a lot in my Instagram either way. It's ANH_N_ha.
ANH_ha.
No, ANH_N_ha.
Oh, N-ha?
And like the word N, like Napoleon, napkins.
What? Napoleon.
ANH, my name, right?
Yeah.
And underscore. And the letter N.
Yeah, so, okay. Oh, I got it now. Okay. ANH underscore the letter N and underscore ha, H-A.
Yeah.
On and ha.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad we sorted that out. Okay, say bye, On.
Bye, guys. Hope to see you soon if she let me in.